down the straight and in towards the braking area for Brundle and Nelson. They'll go. And as they head over the start-finish line now, it is Chris Needham that leads, but Paul Simmons is getting the push to the lead of the race from the number 23 car of Connor Mills, and the pair of them now go through and ahead of Chris Needham, who's going to tuck behind them. So it's Paul Simmons, number 51, that leads Connor Mills from 13th on the grid up to 3rd position as they cross the start-finish line, but up to 2nd by the time they get towards Ritchie's corner. And for Jack Parker, he is going to be up 10 places, I think, from where he started, so he is a real gainer on that one. The pole sitter, which was number 333, Bill Reed, comes through in 14th place at the end of the first lap, and we've lost one car that hasn't come through, which is Connor Hughes, I'm afraid to say, who has not been able to complete the first lap of the race, and I think is possibly heading in towards the pit lane, so problems for his car as it grinds to a halt. It's been a quick rookie as Connor over the course of this weekend and this season, but not quite the final race of the day that he wanted. It is Connor Mills that leads the race. It is Paul Simmons in 2nd place. It's then number 99, Chris Needham, who completes the top 3. After Chris Needham in 3rd place, Jack Parker's 4th, Miles Rudman is there in 5th place, and that looks like Daniel Clark, who completes the top 6. He was 9th as he came over the start-finish line, so he's picked a few pockets in the early stages of this lap. As they head on to the Bentley Straight, remember, this is lap number 2 of not 6 that we'll likely have in the heats. This is lap, 8 laps that we will have as it's the final for the UK Legends, and with all the bump drafting taking place again as they head along the Bentley Straight, that is going to shuffle the order again, I would have thought, by the time they headed towards the braking area for Brundle and Nelson. Yeah, 2 and 3 wide begin towards Brundle and Nelson. Jack Parker is 5th place from Miles Rudman. Yes, he is, yeah, number 1 Miles Rudman hooking up on the back bumper of Paul Simmons, and he's going to push Paul Simmons through into 2nd place, I think at the expense of Chris Needham. Yes, he does. Chris Needham drops to 3rd, Miles Rudman stays in 4th, Jack Parker in 5th, John Mickle number 4 sitting there in 6th place, then it's Mike Schlupp ahead of Daniel Clark. Will Gibson is number 57 in 9th place, and it will be Nick Bridgman, number 68, that completes the top 10 at this stage. So that's the order of the top 10, but with our good little push being given by Miles Rudman to Paul Simmons, it sees him move ahead of what is Chris Needham's car on the run up towards Ritchie's corner. Chris Needham, though, by the time they get towards the exit of Palmer, is back up into 2nd place. Miles Rudman is up into 3rd. Paul Simmons, I think it is, that's dropped down into 4th position. They're all together, though, still for the lead of the race, and that's the important thing when it comes to legends. So it's the black number 99 car that leads, the white and blue 23 in hands of Connor Mills sitting there in 2nd place. Miles Rudman, the champion, remember, from last year, completing the top 3. Then a bit of a gap back before we see Paul Simmons. Not much of a gap back, but it's, what, an extra 4 or 5 legend lengths compared to where the top 3 are. So it's 3 for the lead, and then probably 4 fighting over 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Then another couple fighting over 8th and 9th place, and then a little trio thereafter. But that's just the gaps to the naked eye at this stage. It won't be the same by the time they get down towards the bottom of the Bentley Straight as they hook up for the lead of the race. And it looks as though Chris Needham is being given the push this time by Connor Mills. The two of those working together and shoving each other along the Bentley Straight as they try and keep a little bit of daylight between themselves. start now. Who's working with who this time through? Well, Connor Mills is going to give no opportunity for a slipstream this time and a shot for Chris Needham. Connor Mills wants to take up the lead of the race. That time through, got in the fastest lap of the race at 2 minutes 14.662. 2 minutes 14.662. That's not a bad lap at all, actually, to get down into the 2-minute 14s. That is the fastest Legend race lap we've seen today, actually. When a 2 minute 16.68 in the race earlier on. 2 minute 14.68, but that is a 2 minute 14.66. That's the first and fastest Legend lap of the day. It's not quite down to the 2 minute 14.0s that we saw yesterday from Jack Parker in the final, but we've still got plenty of time for that. The start, we gather, is under investigation. Quite what for, I can tell you no more than that. We do know that several cars gained lots of places in the early laps. It's whether they might have been out of position or something has clearly gone on that has attracted the attention of the officials. So all I can tell you is that the start of this race is under investigation, and one of those cars that gained lots of places on the first lap, which is Connor Mills, leads the pack at the moment and is looking to try and see whether he can claim a win here, having been right at the sharp end of the action all weekend, but hasn't as yet claimed an overall victory. He leads the race, but he's not going to get the push down the Bentley Straight, and therefore is already dropping from second to third and possibly even down to fourth. By the time they get towards the bottom of the Bentley Straight, we are on the half distance track this time as well. Going out there, and what is that for again, as the field will all hear this on their race receiver system, so all of the drivers have one-way radio which is it's not expensive, and it means that rather than bunching up and sometimes having incidents as safety cars are deployed, what it means is all of the drivers receive that radio signal through their earpiece whilst they're driving, instantly telling them safety car, which means that they all back off at the same time, and we don't get this concertina effect that you get in other championships that don't run it, where sometimes every driver, the next one gets less time to react, the next one gets less time to react. Thankfully we haven't had many safety cars on the whole this weekend, so